So yeah, let's start by looking at fundamentals. Oopsie, that's the technicals. My bad. Okay, fundamentals. Yesterday we were at 9, and now we jumped to 21. We literally left extreme fear, and now we're in fear, which is a little counterintuitive given the narrative between the U.S. and Iran right now. But you know, it's quite a jump. Gives me Makes me a little bit skeptical of any moves that are happening within the next 30 minutes, but I'll take it. Liquidation heat map or liquidation levels, about even on the 1 day, heavily imbalanced to the downside on the 7 day, with a huge cluster to the upside and three clusters to the downside. Same thing with the 30 day. 90 day, the imbalance is still to the upside, but just barely. That's almost 1 to 1, which means volatility. 180 day, long side has more liquidity. 1 year top side, short side has more liquidity. Let's go to the RSI heat map. So Bitcoin isn't strong on the 4 hour. Ton is overbought, crazy. So let's look at ton later. 12 hour, same thing. BNB is sharing the space with BTC, XMR, XPL. Tau is nearing it. Ton is also strong. Going to the 24 hour, it's about neutral. So things are really just deciding what they want to do. This coin Bard, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if I want to trade that. But it appears overbought. Quite a, yeah, 4 hours overbought, 24 hours is overbought. So it could be interesting to look at. 1 week is still recovering from oversold to weak. Looking at the liquidation heat maps, we see that there is a hotspot at about 70,000, and I do think we go revisit this level since there hasn't been a real sort of retest at that level, and that's sort of where we projected a potential long yesterday. 48 hour, pointing at that 70k. Hey, girl, welcome. So we're looking at 70k as a point of interest right now. 3 day, also painting 70k as that big hotspot, 77 as a minor hotspot. Let's go to the 1 week, see what's up. Yeah, they're all pointing 70k as your hotspot. The 1 month should show us the upside liquidity target of 74, but you do have more liquidity to the downside. Three months still paints liquidity all the way to about 92,000 right here. So despite the increase in longs from 1 month below, we can see that the imbalance is still to the upside, but shorts almost 3 times the amount of liquidity compared to the downside. So with that, knowing that the fear and greed index has increased, I'll be looking for a potential scalp short down to maybe an entry at 70k. So let's look at what the technicals have in store for us. Oh, is this Dom? It's been a wow. It's been a really long while. Welcome back. Welcome back. How has life been? I recognized your profile picture. I just stuttered a little bit at the username. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. Okay. So, looking at the technicals, maybe we actually should start on the daily, right? Let me change this to 1. Go to the daily. I've been good myself. A little tired, although if yesterday's stream I was a little bit too tired, so I couldn't speak. Lots of gibberish, and I was laughing way too much. But yeah, overall pretty good. But what we can see here on the 1 day is that we had our first strong close above the immediate recovery back Feb 6. Now we did have a strong, not it's not that strong, but we did have a significant wick to the downside here. But overall, we closed fairly strong and somewhere near, excuse me, that further capitulation down. We also got a money flow divergence pointing to the upside, and we are getting a move up above the fluid zero line here on the 1 day, which does tell me we are due for some upside movement. However, if we look at sort of our lower time frames, but that's still relatively high, like the 4 hour, right? What we can see is we really haven't retested this area right here. Now, this area demarcated by these two lines is fairly significant. Well, if the rest of the indications load. Okay. It's fairly significant because you do have a support right here, and on certain time frames, such as here on the 5th, I think the 30 minutes is actually a better example. I think this is a prime. Is it a prime block on the 30 minutes? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yep, it's a prime block here on the 30 minutes, as you can see. It's also an FVG that wasn't really touched, and you can see our dynamic reactors right there. So that tells me, given what we know about sort of our liquidation levels, that we are going to get some sort of retest, or we should be getting some sort of retest here for any further move to the upside. And a retest wouldn't really invalidate any of our moves because of the fact that we do have our bullish cross. You'd still be above your dynamic reactor, and you'd get very strong support on your lower time frames to move up. You got liquidity right here from the FVG, you've got the dynamic reactor, prime block, and this area right here indicates a lot of late longs potentially, but also a lot of premature shorts, which means this area right here acts as a great place for liquidity. And I do think we're going to revisit that. If you also look, it aligns very closely to the levels we had based on the fundamental analysis. So that tells me we are going to get some sort of retest here, which means that I will be posting this as a signal in the chat later on. Now, we did try to short last night, but we didn't quite hit entry. So I announced to cancel that short. So I am looking to potentially short this down. I'm not sure if it would be prudent to enter now. Stop loss above here, go here. Is this Aya Perry? Hold on, it's truncated. I can't believe this. But good morning. Hold on. Is this? Yep. Okay, right on the money. If I didn't want to short this, I'm kind of late to the party. But let's see what would have been the RR. That's not that great, if I'm being honest. Yeah, we should have shorted a little earlier, I feel. Hey, JR. Welcome. It's been a while. Actually, I've seen some of your streams and your shows. Kudos. I mean, I enjoyed quite a few of them. But yeah. Honestly, this kind of feels more like a reunion than it is a stream. Yeah. Good morning, Aya. Why does Robin look like Eminem? Langsky. Oh my goodness. It's quite a nickname. Broski. Man, I used to have a friend that always called me Broski. Yeah. She's in Australia now, but whenever we chat, she'd just be like, "What's up, Broski?" Just so flabbergasted. Really? Interesting. Honestly, that's cool. Right now, I think Broski's kind of dead in the Philippines. What's really popular is just 6'7", and it's annoying. Like, every single time someone gets a chance to to do the 6-7 meme, they just go for it. And I don't know why it keeps appearing. Like, for example, if we want to impeach someone uh, in government, or no, for example, if you want to impeach a vice president here in the Philippines, you need 2/3 of um, like 2/3 of Congress, and then someone was like, "What's that in percentage?" And then I said, "Oh, it's 67%." Then the whole class went 6-7, freaking. Oh my goodness. Anyways, back to the point. So you're kind of late to the short here on Bitcoin, so I don't think I want to do that. What I am, what there it is. Still can't speak. What I am certain of is we do want to basically retest the support right here. We didn't really get a retest of that area, and you can see that this point right here was a top, so was this. So getting a retest at this area makes a lot of sense to me. It's also where liquidity lies according to fundamental analysis. Now, we could theoretically go market and then stop loss above here, like right now. And that would be a fairly favorable RR. Excuse me. You know what? I might just go for this. No, 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 JR. No, not the GIF. Not the GIF. Please. Please, no. Dagger, can you send... Oh, no, you know what? I should send the GIF where it's like, God, no. There. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm sending GIFs today. I'm actually curious. I'm... Should I go for this? Ooh, I mean, it's fairly bearish. You know what? I'll wait for candle close and then decide. But this is just the night. Ooh. Maybe it's not gonna even let me have a chance to decide. Although, you know what? If you close like this with a long wick to the downside, right? You can just move it over here, put the stop loss even further up. Ooh, that could be something. You could also get a retest of the dynamic reactor and fail again. That could also be something. Or, you just leave and we don't make any money. Which is not something I'd like to do. Oh, this one right here is the bar magnified volume profile fixed range by Chart Prime. Yeah, so it's very similar to the first one I was using, the VRVP. And I think you made a tutorial on how to use fixed ranges, right? So what's cool about this one is that you can fix the look back period. So I have mine set to 200 candles, and then 100 levels just to get it nice and even out. And that's it. I like it because it reminds me a lot of the traditional one, which I'm fairly used to, and it's pretty decent. It's been fairly effective as well, using sort of the same strategy. So I like it a lot. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. 5 minutes going oversold. I think I do want to position maybe a scalp short here. The likelihood of it returning, it's still possible considering you are going oversold on your lower time frame. You can also potentially get all the way up to this node right here. So I think what I'll do is just set up something like this, then write it down to entry. So, ooh, but then let's wait it out a little bit because it's only been about 15-ish, well, 16 minutes since market open, almost 17 minutes. So, probably not the best time to trade. This could easily spike up and wick and kill us, which I wouldn't like. Yeah, I was on a winning streak, Jr. and Dom last week, like 5 for 5. Then I lost it on the capitulation down to this level right here, to 63, and then uh we went up, and then I was like, oh yeah, let's get a short right over here, and I placed it right here at 74.3, and it barely missed it by like a couple hundred, right? And then now it's like playing out the way I wanted it to. So unfortunate. Like I wanted it right over here. Or this could double top. I don't know why I drew it like that. This could double top, right? Well, yeah, it's not. It's kind of ugly. Uh, McDonald's. It could double top. So like a premature short might not be the best move if it. Oh no. Oh, it could be setting up for it actually. Free order is one at level 1 above. Beansky, no. No. Boom. No. Huh. Oh, but there's a bearish div on the 1R. I didn't even see this. That's just menacing. Like look how long that bearish div is. Yeah, I've been saying that the moment we squeeze out of the 60, hate that level. The moment we squeezed out of 67K, we would easily go to 73. And then I said somewhere in the chat that we can squeeze to 75. And I foresee uh, a potential move to this region right here at 80. I think 80 is sort of a very difficult resistance, even for this bullish div that formed on the 1 week to get past. Because at this point, you're facing previous quarterly low, previous month high. You're also facing an FVG right there and a dynamic reactor. So, I do think this is going to be very difficult to get past if we do get to this point, which I do think has a fair chance, given the fact we did get this bullish div and we are getting that transition on the 1 week. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the 75K range would fall within what I posted yesterday, because again, I did want to short over here, and then the stop loss was what did I draw? Maybe I shouldn't have deleted it, but I wanted to do something like 74.3. Yes, yeah, close enough. And then I placed it at like 76.3, I think, the stop loss, and then entry here at 70. I don't know, maybe I lowered it to get the 1 to 2. Yeah, about 76. So this is the entry from yesterday, and it just almost touched it. So we did get a diamond trend shift here on the 5 minutes, which does tell me we are going to get some upside. Given that we do have this move now, maybe I shouldn't have stacked these things on top of each other. I do think this would make a lot of sense. Let's go back to the 4-hour, because we still have an untouched FVG here on the 4-hour, right? And I do want to position ourselves around this area, right over here. And we can just go for a 1 to 2. Oh, good morning, little fish. But yeah, yeah, what did I say yesterday? Yeah, 74 360, stop loss at 76, first take profit 72, final take profit around 71k. Yeah, so I think we can definitely do this again. Just run it back and then put in a long at 70, because I do think this is a high probability long. Yeah, I think I've made my mind actually. Let's just double check our fundamentals to see what things are looking like. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the normal program for the foreseeable future. We moved my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday ordeal to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to better space out the programs. Looking at the 1 day, you are going to get volatility on both sides. And I mean, the cluster is right smack dab at around 74.1, 74.3. So a push to the upside makes a lot of sense, and then crash it back down also makes a lot of sense, right? Because you do have such a big cluster on. Okay, all right, we got the strategy locked. Hopefully, this doesn't blow up in our face, but we trade by probabilities. So I think this is my thing. I mean, we could scalp long to the entry. That'd be funny. Uh, but you know what? I think I'll maintain the short at 74.3. Yeah, I'll maintain the short. Yeah, I think I will actually. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Yeah. So, kind of rehashing the signal. What did Dagger say? Missing the screen? Oh, yep. No, it's not. It's not. It's not just you. I wasn't doing it. My bad. My bad. I forgot to reshare, but I think this is good. Rehash part of the signal. Maybe lower the entry a little bit, just to get here at that double top. So yeah, we're gonna do it again. Yeah. Oh my goodness. 10, what is 54? So let's do 1056 because I gotta retype these things. 288. Alright, let's do 290. Nice even number. Yeah, that's about right. Although now that we have this, I think we can probably get a fib retracement. Just bloop bloop bloop. It's about 73 and 72.8. Yeah, it gets difficult to read. Actually, I just got a PWD card for visual disability. So, and what's funny is, right, when you qualify for those things, I don't know. I never thought that I was blind, but when I qualified, and then I put it into perspective, a lot of things make sense, because without my glasses, I really can't see anything. Like, I can see fairly large objects, but the finer details I absolutely cannot. So, yeah. EC 5 minutes CPO plus. Pushing to entry. 4 hour entry. 4H form. Will form a double top at the FVG. Term support. So, sort of a rehash of yesterday's signal, but I think it can still work. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put in the order as well. All right, take care, Dom. And I hope I make you money, and I hope you do well. Thank you so much for dropping by. Okay, put in the order. Let's just wait. Now, I do think setting up a long at this level also makes sense. Right. I really hope this makes a nice McDonald's. That'd be great. Hey, Malvi, welcome. Alright, so we still have about an hour and 3 minutes into the show. So if anyone has questions or things they want to ask with regard to indicators, just let me know. Let's look at gold. See how it's doing. So obviously it's not doing that great. Clear top, double top of some kind, or some kind of topping structure, right? Got rejected at, oh, my watch. Oh no. That's fine. uh, yeah. It's clearly some topping structure going on here. Now we are getting some support, right? We haven't really broken this level, and it's held out 3 times already. 1, 2, 3. That's, and here on the lower time frames, you are seeing some move back to the upside. However, if we zoom out into a higher time frame, say the 4-hour, despite the despite the fact that your CPO plus is printing like a green shift as well as your momentum, you are still overly bearish, or overall bearish in terms of momentum, and your point of interest is all the way down here at about 4,900. So it wouldn't surprise me if gold were to revisit that 4,900 level and even break down to the 4,800 level and find some support right over here or right over here, and then make its way back up. Right now, it's not really, it hasn't really followed the bear flag that we've drawn, so I'm not sure this is the right. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. I'm not sure this is the right. I mean, unless you draw it like this. I don't know why this is yellow. Actually, let me change that. Why are you yellow? There. And then you'll have sort of a move like this. I mean, you can flag out like that, and it still puts you at this level, right? What's true though is this is a fairly bearish structure, despite the fact that you are getting some sort of relief here on the lower time frames. 5 minutes did print a peak bottom signal, but you have a measured move projection to about 5,000. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, so it is pushing up. I do expect it to head to entry now. USDT dominance. Oh yeah, here's something I am a little worried about. So USDT dominance, it still has room to move down. So I do expect a further move to the downside for USDT.D. But so that means that obviously translates to upside for most of the crypto space. But when this bottoms out, and when this gets overextended, when it goes oversold, right? It's not technically, there's not really anything that's being oversold here. But when it gets overextended, I think it goes here. I think it finds good support. I think it bounces. I think it does. And that would mean that we would very much follow the 2022 cycle, or what happened back in 2022. So, for those unfamiliar, right, let's go back to 2022. So, literally 4 years ago, following a 4 year cycle. Here, this area right here. So, February 28th, right, at this level, we got a peak bottom. We even got a bullish divergence. Pretty cool. So, if you draw it right here, regardless of where you want to draw it, I'll put it here because that's where we got our bullish div, right? We still got a 30% move, roughly a 30% move to the upside. So, right now, if we if we project from where we got our bullish div, so right over here, right, and we plot a 30% move, following historical data, of course, right, that puts us at about 87,000, or about somewhere around 80,000, where the chick magnet is lying, right? So a move there is not unprecedented. In fact, there is precedent for it, which means that we can expect it to an extent. Interesting. But one thing to note is that it fooled a lot of people, right? It closed strong. It closed above the dynamic reactor at the time. And while I don't think we had the dynamic reactor, the point is it plotted, right? It closed strong. You'd think that this is a continuation, but no. Instead, the week after, we got some sort of indecision candle, followed by a capitulation candle, or not capitulation, but a continuation candle, and that brought us to that bottom, where people made generational wealth. So, but when was this? This was the end of March. This was the first week of April. We capitulated to the downside, dropping another 66%. So, if we go back, we framed this. So we said about 80, 86, 87,000. Thank goodness it's not 6-7. Right? Let's plot a 66% drop. That would place us back at the point of control for the money flow at about 30. What is this? 29, about 30,000. Now, how likely do I think we go to 30,000? I'm not entirely sure. The reason I don't think we're going to get as low as 30,000 is because of the fact that we do have institutional buying, and of course, the same logic was used for why we wouldn't fall back here. But another point that I do want to bring up is at this point, right? Right, let's go back. We retested the 200-day moving average and got rejected. Where's the 200-day moving average now? It's over here. If we get rejected at the 200-day moving average, something that exists now that didn't exist back then is the 200-week moving average. This has acted as a very strong support. We touched it twice and bounced off it, right? Now, if we drop from here to the 200-week moving average, from about 86,000 to that 200-week moving average, that marks about a 27% move to the downside. But notice as well that we do have a lot of nodes around this area where the 200-week moving average lies, and then a very minor node at about where this prime block is. So that was that liquidity move to 48K. What I'm trying to sort of illustrate is that, unlike what we had at this point, there really wasn't that much support to hold Bitcoin up. But now, over the course of 4 years, we have built some pretty decent supports. Your moving averages, your liquidity, or your prime blocks, and the fact that there is some volume or some buying at this level. So I do think 50K is going to act as a very strong support. 63K is going to act as a very strong support. And capitulating over here isn't guaranteed necessarily, because every cycle has gotten it's gotten better, right? If you look at how much capitulation moving forward, like from over here. Uh, where is the best place to illustrate this? No, shoot, I don't think we have enough data. Like it doesn't go that far. Actually, maybe we can use 2020. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. No, I think we need more data. All right, but I'll illustrate that next time. I'll just make sure to find the right charts. But from what I've been able to gather and read and study is that every time or every cycle we've dropped less and less, right? It hasn't dropped as drastically as before. Oh, hey Ali man, welcome. Thank you for dropping by again. Um oh, JR. What show is that from? Dampen. But yeah, so I really don't think anything's possible, right? I'd like to reiterate, anything's possible. We could go down to 30K, absolutely. But there are a lot more supports present now that didn't exist back then that would possibly stonewall a drop to 30K. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Oh, no, that's not. Where am I going? Okay. Ah, man. What's funny is this is where I also said we might want to take a short at the point of interest, and well, there goes my own fixed volume profile going against me. Ah, terrible. At this point, I should probably just post about the long signal, so I think I'll go do that. So I'm gonna put the launch signal. I'll just swing. Long. Okay, so let's see, 7846. Five stop loss at 68, 711. Then we can do a fib retracement to right over here. No, we can do from over here, I think. Yeah, that's probably better. 72.4. And final take profit at 79, 730. Let's go back. Yeah, it does. I mean, I did want to short it over here, thinking it might double top, but it looks like the 5 minute point of interest got to it first. That said, I have been looking for a retest of this level, and you can see that this level marks two highs here on the channel, right? One over here, and on the 30 minutes, it's also a prime block. If it loads. So the 30 minutes, it's also a prime block. It could potentially also be a point at which Bitcoin goes oversold. Our stop loss is going to be below multiple supports, and yeah, Magic, like the song or the art, or is that Shia LaBeouf? What? It looks like Shia, right? What? No, I don't know Magic. Yeah, I don't know Magic. Enlighten me. Um. Okay, yeah. I actually have a friend that does Magic. Sleight of hand. No, that would be so funny. Just like doing these streams, and I'm going, all right, pick a card, and then just like doing Oh, actually, that might be good for entertainment. Although, if Alex and OC drop by, they'll just probably be like, what is going on? Isn't this like a live scalping session? Why are they doing sleight of hand magic on screen? Dag is gonna tell them like, oh yeah, Langstrom's killing time. Yeah. No, okay, because recently OC's been dropping by. Not that I'm scared of it or anything. I'm just surprised, right? So if I start doing sleight of hand calls and then OC comes, it's like, OC, pick a card, any card. They'll just look at me, and we have a GC, so uh, Alex and OC and I, because we have to coordinate some things, right? I'm sure they're just gonna be like, what are you doing? Oh no, no, no. It sounds disgusting. Mexican spaghetti. No, I remember. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Nah, I should pull out Fruit Loops, because I remember he told me my chart looks like spaghetti, and I told him mine looks like Fruit Loops. Yeah, yeah. Man, last time I saw Piper was, how long has it been? I haven't seen Piper in a while, actually. Because to be fair, once it hits 2 a.m. here, I kind of hit the bed and just go. But yeah. All right, let's just see how this plays out. You still have 45 minutes on the show, which means that the 15 minutes closed fairly bearish, I believe. Yeah, look at that. But 15 minutes is nearing oversold. Granted, your MVP ribbon kind of wants more downside. So it's just a question of which goes first, I feel. Short goes first, then we're happy. But then if the long goes first, I'm canceling the short. That's the only way to live. Yeah, that's the only way to live. You gotta play both sides. Blair. Yeah, that sounds right. Let's see how this goes. But you know, you might have paralysis by analysis though. But I also subscribe to the idea that it's best to try to devil's advocate yourself. So if your bias is bullish, I think it might be prudent to also be your own devil's advocate and be like, oh, but it could be bearish for this reason, and then just weigh which one's stronger. Also, where do you get these gifs? Like, what do you type? This is such a good gif. Jeez. Smoky. You know, I might be. I don't think I was born yet when this movie came out. Yeah. Um. I don't know what came out in my time. Shoot, am I younger than Titanic? Friday. Okay, I'll type it down. Uh, when was Titanic produced? Yeah, no, I was born 7 years after Titanic was released in theaters. Oh, so that's where that meme's from. Damn. I would get the right timbre if I could say damn out loud at this hour, but it's like 11:20 p.m. where I'm at, so I don't want the neighbors to question. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Ah, damn, it's too good. Yeah, Will Ferrell's great. All right, take care, Ali man. Yeah, of course. Feel free to ask. I mean, you can also leave it here, and I can also respond. Or if you ever get curious, you can just type it, tag me in trading chat, and I'll respond. Yeah, take care. It looks like JR is not the only one calling me Langsky now. It's gonna be my nickname, Langsky. Actually, isn't that a surname for some people? I feel like that's a surname for some people. No, it's not. Really? No, I know it. Okay. Yeah, some okay. Okay. The first thing that popped up when I typed Langsky was Mayor Langsky, who was a major American organized crime figure and mob accountant. Yeah. Yeah, no, I said surname. I don't I feel like no one should name their kid Langsky unless it means something in their language. No, no, don't worry. You're good. You're good. No, no. Yeah. Actually, isn't it? Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but some places in Canada allow you to, you know, for medicinal purposes. Oh, everywhere. Okay. No, Okay. Very interesting. It's like booze, but less brain damage. Fair. Oh. Oh. Well, if you can't, yeah, because everyone's just no. Inebriated is not the right term. Inebriated is for drinks. If everyone is and under the influence might not be the right term either. Yeah, if you're you know, the government here wanted to tax Netflix, and I was like, and a lot of people were just like, "What? Huh? Netflix? Really?" I see. I should probably look into that. I have like a academics journal access because I'm still in university. Oh wait, there's also Langsky Outdoor Whetstones. Yeah, so there is a company called Langsky, which might be useful because yeah, Langsky sharpeners. Because I mean, I'm into to pocket knives, so I've been looking for better systems. Yeah, potheads laugh, eat, and pass out. That is true. All right, so we are capitulating. If our long hits first, then we cancel the short. He's still going though. Yeah, look. Now that's good risk management. You know, he survived. But is this real though? I feel like this is more AI than because wouldn't he be burning up? That's gotta hurt. Moving at that speed and then hitting asphalt. Uh, of course, anything's possible for JR. Yeah, I know. He just walked that off. Like, is his is his suit like so slippery that it can do that? Like it reduced all the friction. It's crazy. Oh no no no! I remember Daga sent a GIF or was it a meme back then where it's like, oh, risk management. We don't do that here. Yeah yeah. Risk management. We don't do that here. We don't know what risk management is. No risk management. We go all in all the time. 2000x leverage, easy. No, this is not right. It could be a wedge of some kind. Very ugly wedge, if it is. Oh, you know, it could be a. I don't know if I like that. Now it just looks like an emoji. Um, But okay, let me remove this right here. Actually, let's look at other coins in the 30 minutes that have passed. So Ethereum didn't pan out. It was super close. Didn't reach, and actually would have taken full TP if that played out, but unfortunately it did not. What was one of them? Ton was also oversold. Might want to look at Ton actually. Solana, I have no clue if Solana's still okay, or if it's breathing, or what it's doing. But this could pan out. I'm just gonna set an alert for Solana. Let's look at Ton. Looks like butt cheeks. Oh yeah, wait. Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, that's a. You're so right. And then, oh no, this is like an upward. Shoot, do we have emojis here? No, we don't. Ah, how do people get emojis onto their thing? Weak magnet, strong magnet. Upward butt cheek pattern. No. Uh, uh, upward butt cheek. I'll quote that now. Watch me signal. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's forming an upward butt cheek pattern. Yeah, as you can see, Ethereum formed a downward butt cheek pattern. It's ready to skyrocket. Yeah, we tend not. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yes, Daga, this is perfect. Perfection. Anyways, it looks like we are going to get our long before we get our short. Looking back at Ton, I mean, just look at Ton. It's like outperforming the rest of the market. Look at that. But it's got this is like how many? One, two, three bearish divs oversold. Oh, overbought. 12-hour looks like it does want to get a push. So I do think we can push up with Ton. I'll set an alert at 1.42, but I would probably frame a short depending on how Ton responds. And back down here. Something like this. I think that could make a lot of sense. Or, we can lower this a little bit. Get a better RR. R. Yeah. Yes, downward butt cheek pattern. Absolutely. Okay, so we are getting that. You know what? This was a macro upward butt cheek pattern. Right? But in reality, what actually happened is we got a more short-term upward butt cheek pattern. So we got this butt cheek right here, and we got this butt cheek right here, right? So we got our butt cheeks. So now we're looking to potentially reverse that doo-doo to an upside move. Yeah. Huzzah. Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly. And previous tops, right? It's this previous top, this previous top. So we're really testing out some of our capitulations, right? One, two, and we're checking if we can stay above them. Now, what I'm looking for might not necessarily be. I mean, it can close fairly, or what I'm looking for is something like a touch and then like even just a tiny wick. I think would pass for me. Uh, or it could like close here, touch this, and then reverse. Something like that would make sense to me. Yeah, and then it could form like a downward butt cheek pattern. Yeah. downward butt cheek. And then, sky's the limit. Yeah. What's funny is I always to get these lives onto the the to the Discord, right? I have to post this on YouTube. So technically, I don't know why, but you could search these videos up on YouTube. It would be on OC's channel. So, someplace on the internet, people are just seeing, oh yeah, this is a downward butt cheek pattern. Remember it. Downward butt cheek, upward butt cheek. When you see upward butt cheek, expect flatulence downward, a flatulent force downward. You see downward butt cheek, expect a flatulent force upward. Oh shoot, I should quote that. I should. That is good stuff. Yeah. So right now, we're getting the flatulent force down. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's not selling pressure. It's flatulence. Camel toes. Oh, that's true. So would like a double bottom be an upside down camel? Actually, I've never seen a moose in my life. Like, I've only seen pictures. I would love to see a moose. Yes, you should. Moose knuckle is an exaggerated camel toe. Huh. Welcome to the home of the moose knuckle shuffle. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Although, why their knuckles kind of look like a fashionista's shoes? Like, it kind of looks like something you'd see on a runway. Can't just be me, right? $15 minutes. Yeah, let's have a look. I only see one thing, brah. Ah. Oh. Oh, okay, okay. I'm going to. I'm gonna prevent. I'm not gonna say that so OC doesn't. This video doesn't get taken down. Two opposing liquidity zones. Oh yeah, and you're oversold on the 15 minutes too. Yeah. You can still push down MVP ribbon, but I do think that you're right. We could range from this point because you have one right over here, right? And you can just bounce it, and then you have such the volume concentration of or the order concentrations over here. Yeah. Do you remember the scene with Andy Samberg and shoot the oh my goodness, what's his name? The guy from Andy Samberg and oh, what was it? Yeah, Owen Wilson. Yeah. Oh no, it's going to OCs. There, it's like, excuse me, bruh. You're excused, but you're not my bruh. I love him so much. This guy, like, I during the pandemic, right? All I was watching was Brooklyn 99. Just, oh my goodness, changed my life. Yeah, yeah, changed my life. Oh yeah, sorry, that's not Andy Samberg. That's a different guy. Yeah, I'm not your bruh. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. It is perfect. I see, and like the music that plays in the background for those memes. It's like, and I see you in the club and you acting real nice. It's so catchy. Yeah. Okay. So let's see how USDT Yeah. Okay. So there was a spike in USDT dominance. Uh, but if it fails to recapture the previous week low, that's not a circle. If it fails to recapture previous week low, and if it closes even over here, right, then we can expect a continuation to the downside. But generally speaking, I am worried for what might happen when we get to 7.223. Yeah, okay, precious metals is falling. Uh, yeah, looks like that short on silver might not pan out. Ooh, ton is falling too. But yeah, I think I'll keep watch. This week's kind of slow. I mean, we did get a push to the upside, and then the long term long is still doing pretty well, all things considered, right? And then I am looking at this point as a very strong point of rejection. So 5 minutes, how's it doing? Okay, so it's going back down. Okay, it's okay. Don't come to entry. We got our 15-minute close. We might say above the quantum reactor. Uh, but I do hope we can get some wick to the entry. Because what's been happening recently is that my entries are a little bit too conservative, but it's always just a few hundreds off, which isn't exactly fun. Oh, I don't know if Little Fish is still here. Oh, he still is. Speaking of speaking of Canada, something just like popped up in my feed. Instead of like California Girls, they did a parody and it's called Canadian Boys. Yeah, I know JR. Both of you are from Canada. Wait, I'm gonna send it in Hangout. Oh no, I don't know if I can send links actually. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna show this to you guys. But it's so funny. Sorry. Okay, wait. I'm gonna try to memorize what they're saying. Actually, maybe I can just put it onto my mic and then yeah. This is what I do while waiting for my orders. I don't. Are you guys getting this? It's so good. It is so good. I hope we don't get copyright from that. It's so good. It's actually so good. Hey, whew, the Canadian parody made me laugh too much. Anyways, I think we're gonna get to entry. Hopefully. Uh, let's go to 5 minutes. Probably not. Let me just lock this so I can actually move around. I mean, bullish divergence, right? But you are getting quite the money outflow. Excuse me. So I do think we want to push down, even on the 4 hour, because how I'm seeing this is this 4 hour move is going to bounce off the zero line or the money flow line. So something very similar to not quite. There's not a lot of good examples actually, but something like this, right? But the opposite. So let's just wait and see. Now we could scalp this potentially, but it might not be in the scope of the stream anymore. Could be something. Alright. Take care, JR. Thanks for dropping by. It's really been a long time. Take care. Alright, 6 minutes on the show. Kind of stuck here. Not Kim Jong. All right. 1 minute left. Actually, 20 seconds left. Uh, let's see how this 4-hour closes actually, or at least a starting candle, right? Because I still want to move to the downside, and if the CPO plus can move down, bounce on the zero line, I think that would be great. But with that said, we do have two entries. Whichever one gets hit first is the one we'll keep. So if the long gets hit first, then I think it's prudent to cancel the short. But yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So same time, 9:30 a.m. EST. I'll be here right on time. And tomorrow we'll probably do some like weekend analysis, probably what's gonna happen into the weekend. And yeah, we'll look at a lot more coins than just Bitcoin, because I realized that we've just sort of been looking at Bitcoin because it's sort of the most important one right now. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Once again, I am Langstrom, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to use a stop loss. Take care.